I'm a big comic book reader and have been for years, but recently I got a taste of manga and enjoyed it, so then I jumped on the web and purchased my first manga haul. I obtained a selection of different titles to feed my curiosity, so I got reading and I couldn't stop. Minutes turned to hours, hours turned to days, and so it went. But it got me thinking, why was I so addicted? Was it the shock of seeing guts slice a man in half? Holy smokes! Or seeing the dreaded dystopian landscape of Blam? Holy smokes! Or the surprise of Naruto's sexy jutsu? Holy giggity! Honestly, it was the roller coaster of emotions that came with the experience. I laughed, I cried, I hyped, and I wowed. Wow. Welcome back, my comic book friends. Let me tell you about the manga I got to experience. Let's kick it. The Guy Who Has a Gun for a Head, No Guns Live by Tasuku Karasuma. I breezed through the first 6 volumes. It has a cool sci-fi setting. The character designs are brilliant. Our protagonist, Juzo Inui, despite his bizarre look, has a great blend of humor, mystery, and firepower surrounding him. Even at 6 volumes deep, out of 13, I found myself invested, enjoying the world building and pulse-pounding action. I want to take my time with this series, as the pacing has been excellent to date, and I like all the characters presented so far. Alice in Borderland by Haru Aso. The artwork didn't blow me away at first, nor was I the biggest fan of the characters, but once the ball got rolling, I was fascinated by the world and the high stakes. The characters have to fight for their lives in these twisted games. In what appears to be a nearly empty version of Japan, I quickly felt tense, as deadly surprises were around every corner. It wasn't long until I began to warm up to our protagonist Arisu, and truth be told, the supporting cast has plenty of charm. Despite only having read the first volume, out of 9, I can tell things would get pretty crazy. Hell's Paradise by Yuji Kaku. I remember this flying by seamlessly, and by the end I was craving to know what happens next. The setup is awesome. Taking place in the Edo period of Japan, it follows the ninja Gabimaru and the executioner Yamada Asaemon Sagiri as they search for the elixir of immortality. It throws a lot of characters at you rapidly, and the pacing of the story is just as swift, and yet never felt problematic. I love the motivation of the protagonist Gabimaru, just feels so wholesome and acts as a sweet contrast against his insanely violent nature. I need more of these volumes ASAP. Blame the Master Edition by Tasuto Nihei. Alright, what the hell, man? You can get lost in the architecture of this world so easily. It's straight up one of the freakiest and fascinating worlds I've encountered in this medium. I love how the writer chooses to show instead of tell majority of the time. Reading it felt like I was having tunnel vision cranked up to 11,000. I struggle to tell you what it's about because it's more of an experience. Wow. But in essence, it's a treacherous journey of one man through a dystopian landscape comprised of hive-like concrete structures which get deadlier with every floor our protagonist ascends. He's in search of something, and he meets many interesting friends and foes along the way. Despite there being civilizations here and there, you can't help but feel this immense sense of isolation. Man, I so badly want the rest of these. I appreciate the size, and the storytelling is simply hypnotic. Sakamoto Days feels like the definition of fun in this medium. For those not familiar with the premise, the story revolves around Taro Sakamoto, a retired legendary hitman who has settled into a quiet and mundane life as a family man. Now, it's not so much the premise that's the big seller, but the execution. It finds the right balance between action and comedy, and it excels in both aspects. The fact that an anime is premiering in 2025 gets me overjoyed. I like the way Yuto Suzuki sets the scene, paces out the stories, and keeps things feeling fresh at all times. Plus, Sakamoto's wife and child just seem so lovely. It's no wonder he would die trying to protect his family. If you want something to lighten up your mood whilst getting you hyped, then this is a must. Check it out. Full Metal Alchemist. The Full Metal edition by Hiromu Arakawa is an instant classic. The anime was one of my all-time favorites back in the day, and this hits just as hard. The quality is pretty impressive, and a premium format for hardcore collectors. It just looks gorgeous. I would say this holds up really well in this day and age. For those wanting an adventure oozing with charm and plenty of science in a fictional world, then check it out. It is regarded as one of the best anime/manga of all time. time, so you can't go wrong. I'm personally familiar with the story, but it was wonderful getting blasted by nostalgia witnessing this in manga form. Shojin X by Sui Ishida. Oh man, I'm so going to get crucified here. Okay, hear me out. I felt the artwork was very inconsistent in this first volume. I know this guy has a pretty great reputation with Tokyo Ghoul, but the artwork felt all over the place here. Sometimes it was looking great, and other times it looked like he made a quick simple sketch. Now I have to give him lots of credit for the sheer creativity, wackiness and mystery, but the other downside was the protagonist, which felt like a total whiny wimp, making this Tokyo Kurohara guy very unlikable. But maybe it will allow for plenty of character growth moving onwards, so I shouldn't be so critical just yet. I know, it is after all the first volume, and I'm sure the creator has his reasons, so please don't kill me. Goku Rakugai by Yuto Sano. Oh my god. The artwork, what the hell? The artwork was simply magic. Every single page felt like a carefully crafted masterpiece. I read this with a big smile on my face. My eyeballs were smiling too. All you need to know is, it's a story about a problem solver agency run by Tao and Alma. They battle human-devouring monsters and solve various mysteries. Whilst the story wasn't cutting edge just yet, I cannot give this enough praise for its artwork. Here's hoping it shapes up into something truly special. It's fast and it's furious. It's the Initial D omnibus. You know, this one took a while for me to warm up to. I think the slice of life approach and slow burn was a little challenging to overcome. I know it sounds hilarious, given its manga is about fast cars racing around the streets of Japan, but perhaps that's where the charm resides. It's supposed to ease me into a big epic tale. The car artwork is simply amazing. You can sense the passion Suichi Shigeno has for drawing these sweet-looking vehicles. Hellsing by Kota Hirano. Oh yeah, baby. Man, do I love the deluxe edition format. Naturally, I'm a huge hardcover comic collector, so this was right up my alley. But I've really learned to love trade paperbacks this year, and manga was the gateway drug. I wasn't sure what to expect from Hellsing, but it quickly proved to me it had exceptional artwork, and the action can get insane. The series chronicles the efforts of the mysterious and secret Hellsing organization as it combats vampires, ghouls, and other supernatural foes who threaten England. As a vampire-themed story, it definitely quenched my thirst. Plus, Father Alexander Anderson is one wicked Irish assassin. The Fable by Katsuhisa Minami. I was so not ready for this. I think eccentric would be the best word to describe this. It really is an unconventional take on the hitman. I didn't think it would be so funny and engaging. It tells the story of a genius assassin given the identity of Akira Sato, who is sent to lay low as a civilian with his assistant Yoko Sato, who acts as his sister. Their mission is to be as normal as humanly possible. The fun begins when our protagonist takes it very seriously not to kill anyone. Behaving like a defenseless civilian feels so unnatural to him. He has to think very hard how to be normal in dangerous situations. This manga is a well-rounded experience with awesome art, cast, pacing, and the fact it remains grounded at all times, which is what kept my eyes glued to the pages. Black Lagoon by Rei Hiroe. For me, this is a dose of nostalgia, an even bigger dose of adrenaline. The series follows the Lagoon Company, a 4-member team of pirate mercenaries smuggling goods in and around the seas of Southeast Asia with a patrol torpedo boat, the Black Lagoon. The group takes on various jobs, usually involving criminal organizations and resulting in violent gunfights. The team consists of Dutch, the leader, Revy, the main gunfighter, Benny, the mechanic, computer specialist and researcher, and Rock, an ex-salaryman hijacked by the team and abandoned by his department chief, eventually becoming their negotiator and professional face of the group. The manga has 12 English volumes to date and sadly has been releasing slower than a 3-toed sloth. I mean, the series commenced in 2002, that's over 2 decades. Yeah, I bet when I finish reading the rest of these volumes, I will be begging for more, like, please, please, please. Also, I realized he has a couple of spin-off manga from the Black Lagoon universe with, sorry, I'm gonna butcher this, Sojiya Soya Kaitai Gore Gore Musume and Edda initial stage. But these don't exist in the English format. So if we could please get these in English, please, 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 that would be great. Origin by Boichi. This one is dangerous because it seems to do three things really well that I like: good action, fun comedy, and gorgeous art. Plus, the setup of the story is pretty intriguing. It's basically about an android undercover as a human on the hunt to kill other androids, also disguised as humans. It's funny because the protagonist constantly analyzes humans in an attempt to behave like them to the best of his ability. So far, I'm having a great time with this, and the art is unreal. How is this humanly possible? I think Boichi is also an android. Vinland Saga. Oh yeah, look at this thing. Look at it. It's as if Thor's hammer was a manga, simply a work of art. Guys, just for a second here, aren't we living in the best comic/manga era? This is definitely the brightest timeline. Makoto Yukimura sets up one hell of an epic tale. You can tell from the beginning he is in it for the long game. This is basically the story of a teenage Viking called Thorfinn Karlsveni, who is motivated by vengeance on his expedition to find Vinland. I won't say anymore, as you should check it out, and I can already tell this adventure will be epic. So how would I rank all of these recent reads based on my personal enjoyment? From worst to best, it would be like this: Chojin X, sorry Chojin, I still like you though. Initial D, Alice in Borderland, Sakamoto Days, Goku Rakugai, Origin, No Gun's Life, Black Lagoon, Full Metal Alchemist, The Fable, Hell's Paradise, Hellsing, Blam, and Vinland Saga. And look, this ranking was really based on my initial experience of each of these stories. I'm sure if I got to experience the whole journey, the ranking system would have probably changed quite a bit. In fact, I'd be pretty curious to hear from you guys which one of these would make it to the top of your list. So after all is said and done, which of these manga am I still going to continue to read? Well, the truth is, I want to read all of them. Yeah, I know that may sound a little bit shocking, but I still want to give Chojin X a really good go. I know Sui Yoshida is a really good writer and artist, but the first volume didn't completely sell me. Like, I think the idea is extremely cool and unique, so that's what keeps me hooked. And he's got the reputation behind him, so I think I want to check it out, even though I know it's very different, and I also really want to check out Tokyo Ghoul. What about my manga boxes? Well, I got started on the Naruto, and I finished Chainsaw Man, and oh man, do I have some things to say about that. In fact, I'm pretty obsessed with that series. I think it's phenomenal. Part 1, really great. I know there's a part 2 that's currently being written, and a lot of people are lukewarm on it, and it's apparently very different, but the feedback that I've been hearing is exactly the pathway that I wanted the writer to take. Now, I haven't touched the Dragon Ball Z one yet, but I will be looking forward to get stuck into it soon. So what about Berserk? Yep, I've got started on volume 2 of Berserk. I've got 4 volumes so far. I'm obviously loving it. It's an absolute blast. It's phenomenal. It feels like nothing out there compares to it. It's just an experience. But you know, a couple of things about this. First of all, I want to take my time with it so I can savor the experience. And second of all, I want to take my time with it so I don't receive too much psychological damage whilst experiencing it. Anyway, I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know in the comments below what kind of manga are you reading? Do you have any manga recommendations? And I'll catch you very soon.